Alrighty, well, thank you for tuning into the Orchid Chronicles. Um, there were, actually, I gotta water these. Anyway, couple of things. I normally do videos in the style where I alternate between home mature orchids and then tissue culture, and I try not to do the same thing every week. However, there's not too much exciting stuff going on with my mature home orchid collection that's not in the lab. I'm going to get to that in a minute. The couple of things I should mention about them is the Wilsonaria buds are getting very large. They should be opening shortly. The dendrobiums are setting up some flower buds. I got a zygopatillum the other day. I will get to them and why they're in the lab. And I got some orthene, aka acephate powder, that I basically baptized all of my downstairs orchids in to save them from original scale. But in all seriousness, there were scale insects on a lot of them, so I made a bath out of this stuff. I still have to take care of the ones that are upstairs in that greenhouse in my bathroom. I'll do that later. So I treated those for their scale infestations. Bunch of different things happening in the lab right now. Gonna get to that in a moment. I brought, for a class that's about bees that's being taught here tomorrow, some orchids because somebody requested. Now I dunked this guy, but it looks like it has a lot of scale on its flower stalk. Anyway, hopefully the systemicness of the acephate will kick in and kill off the scale. Did I damage that leaf? I hope not. Somebody asked if I had any orchids that were in bloom currently so that he could show the flowers to the class, particularly where the pollinia are located, which would be right in this area. This is the column of the flower, and then the pollen cap would be, let's see, this thing right there. Why is the pollen cap falling off of that guy? Oh well, anyway. And then the stigmatic surface would be slightly further back. As you can see, this is zygopatillum. So I brought these plants for the class to look at. I hope they don't damage my orchids. And I also brought some pollinia for them to look at. These are Dendrobium phalaenopsis pollinia. This is Cymbidium pollinia. And there should be... Crud, where'd it go? I'm going to have to find that. I should have put the microcentrifuge tube with the different Oncidium Alliance pollinia in there. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Phew. Oncidium pollinia. Various things like Meltonia, Oncidium, a variety of different things. What is that? So that's why these are here. In the tissue culture realm, I'm doing a couple of experimentations. So let's go over that, children. One, I was told that the Cypripedium, which are germinating, some of the pubescens have this weird bacteria that's sort of growing around where the protocorms are, but it doesn't seem to be growing over the protocorms. It just seems to be using the media that the pubescens have already depleted, so I'm not really going to bother messing with it because that might cause more harm than good. But I was told that when I replate some of the Cypripediums, they need some casein in their replate media. So I got this from GNC for like $10. It's great. It's 10.3 ounces of pure casein. Very nice. I got more of these containers. These are only $2.50. They're from Job Lot. Really great. They can withstand the pressure cooker. The bottom here says that they can withstand 245 Fahrenheit. The pressure cooker, I think, gets up to 215, 220. These can withstand the pressure cooker, though. I'm going to try to throw some of these through the pressure cooker and see if they can withstand it. The lids are pretty solid, so it's worth a shot. And aside from that, I made a variety of medias to do various woody plants. I'm going to try lilac, sweet gum, cherry, oak, walnut, hickory, hemlock, and several other things. And I made broadleaf plant media, Mirage and Skoog, which is basically the standard woody plant media, which I've tried a couple of things with that didn't work. I'm going to try tulip tree with some of these non-woody plant media things and see if it works. DKW, that is a media specific to oak and druglandaceous plants, I think. Yeah, and then there's DCR media in some of these, which is specific to conifers, which I'm going to try with the hemlock. I made a whole series of different medias. So what I'm going to, and I added some coconut water and some growth regulators and honey to all these, along with the normal stuff. What I'm going to do after winter break, late January, is go collect dormant buds from all these plants. Although for the hemlock, I may force a few to start the bud expansion process because it's easier to sterilize them then because of their size. But the sweet gum and lilac particularly should be very easy to sterilize the outside of the bud. And then I'm going to put the sterilized buds in these to get the meristems to grow. I don't know why I decided to get these going so early. I just got really stinking bored. So there's that. Let's see. I put some Venus flytrap seeds on half-strength MS media. They haven't really done anything yet. I'm going to do more protocorm replanting for the Phalaenopsis, and what I'm going to do is some of them are going to go on piece 668 media, and some of them are going to go on piece 748 media to see if one is better than the other. Of course, there is going to be a great deal of variation when I do that because of the fact that these are hybrids of hybrids, and that, may not give you accurate, consistent results across different hybrid crosses, but that's fine. It's just for ha-has. Having a little bit of fun with orchid growing. Gonna do some eucalyptus seeds on MS media, and I'm going to do some Drosera tracei on half-strength MS media, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some meristem culture when the Wilsonaria seed stem is a little bit bigger. Let me grab another thing for the tracei sundew. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know which I'll start with. And finally, I am working on creating tissue culture containers that have a little bit of airflow. So let me find the container for it. Oh, I also ordered a bunch more scalpel blades because I broke one. So I have several packs of different size scalpel blades. This is only like $11 on Amazon, all of this with a couple of extra handles. Really great deal. I love Amazon. Let me put this back. So I've just been kind of working through things. Let's see, what other stuff? Here's the millipore paper. This is 0.22 micron filter paper. The white stuff is the actual filter paper. And it excludes microbes. And I was told sometimes you want to have some airflow. So I made this, the test broth media. And I'm testing different stoppers and different ways of securing the millipore down. And what you can see is the masking tape holds it down really well. Only time will tell if it keeps it airtight and prevents contamination. Probably a few more days I'll know with some of these. I tried super glue, but if you look carefully, let me see if the super glue really likes to eat away at the millipore. It survived the pressure cooker without too many issues, but I don't know if it's the best way to go. The hot glue I thought would survive because when I looked at the temperature of a hot glue gun, the low setting is well over the temperature of the pressure cooker. So I don't know why this happened. It wasn't nearly as disorganized, but it does seem like it's still holding up. So I don't know if I'm going to wind up using that. The duct tape really didn't like being thrown through the pressure cooker, but there's no contamination yet. The masking tape did okay, even though this one seemed to have a little bit of moisture getting underneath it. So I'm going to keep an eye on all of these. Some more duct tape. So we have the hot glue, super glue, masking tape, duct tape, then the stopper. That's actually a pretty secure stopper, I gotta say. And I'm just kind of seeing how all that plays out to see if it works. Because I need to ventilate for some of the older plantlets that'll be needing to be moved soon. These are just Drosera filiformis seedlings. I just want to keep them moist so that they don't dry up. It's pretty dry in the lab here. Do-do-do. Okay, folks. So, I suppose I don't want to get into a whole... this particular container style seems to withstand the pressure cooker. Why don't I give you guys a quick demonstration of how I test the pressure cooker. So I'm just going to take one of these containers. It's kind of late here, so I do want to grab some water before I close the secretary room. One second. This doesn't tell me what the temperature tolerance is, but that's okay. All I'm going to do, my friends, is I usually just add a little bit of water to it. I don't want to leave the lid on too tightly. So what I might do is kind of crack it just a slight bit. Although, I don't know, because I don't want to... If it survives, I'll do the next testing phase where I make the broth media. Although I suppose these orange clips are very nicely heat resistant, so all I've really got to do once this is done is open this up and just pat it back down. But I leave it open a little bit to avoid damaging the container. Actually, let me just make sure the gasket is securely on there. Now we go to pressure cook and it'll automatically start. Alright, so we're going to test that container out. The other thing I wanted to quickly do, and I'll show you guys, is make some surface sterilization solution for the seeds that I'm going to put on some MS media. What I do is I get these little glass vials and I get the corresponding lids. I'm just going to put the lids down. What I'm going to first do is just quickly spritz them with alcohol, even though I'm almost certain the bleach will do its job. I wouldn't worry too much about it. They will be fine. Now, I need a container like this that I'll pour some bleach into. I've got my Tween 20, which is a wetting agent, aka surfactant, and I just allow a slight bit to drip into the, got one, whoopsie, two, come on, there we go. Okay, you don't need that much of it. It's pretty strong stuff. Even though I got it on my hands, I'll just rinse it off. Then what I do is, you want to make about a 10% bleach solution. So I just take a container like this and I fill it up with some water. This is deionized water. Do. Okay. And what you can easily do, I just take a syringe, but you can also use a pipette, is I bring the volume of water in the syringe up to about 4.5. It's not quite there yet. There we go, 4.5. Fill one with it. Whoops. I'm gonna have to clean that up. 1 minute. Then all I gotta do is add about a 0.5 milliliter of bleach to make it 10%. And then I'll just keep repeating that until they're filled. And then at that point, all you gotta do is take your seeds. So in this case, I have both Eucalyptus pauciflora and Eucalyptus gunny. I want to raise your spirit. I want to see you smile. Okay. Eucalyptus gunny. Because the seeds want to float, to get them away from the lid, I just invert this. And I'm going to let that sit for a while so that the seeds can actually like sink and get completely wet. And then I'm just going to take the other eucalyptus, the pauciflora, which is right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. It's a good thing I'm wearing shoes. Then finally I'm going to do the Tracy's Sundew. Whoops. And I usually let these soak for 15-ish minutes before I rinse them in sterile water and put them on the plating media. And that's all I got for you guys today.